This was captured from a vehicle actually parking up at the time. I certainly haven't seen anything like it. Alice's head goes forward, the door's open, and she said her goodbyes. And within approximately 1 hour, Alice will be dead.
Alice! 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 Oh my God, she's dead! She's dead!
81 feet likewise. Yeah.
On the evening of October 12, 2016, 24-year-old Alice Ruggles is discovered by her flatmate at home in Gateshead. She has suffered a serious wound to her neck. At 7:30 p.m., Alice is pronounced dead. The homicide squad is immediately notified.
Hi, Phil. It's Lisa. Can you speak?
Yeah, go ahead.
We've got a job in at Gateshead.
The murder squad has to move fast. The decisions made in the first hour of a homicide investigation, when the evidence is fresh and uncontaminated, can make or break a case. The police murder manual calls this the golden hour.
Right, let's go.
Tonight, with unprecedented access, we follow homicide detectives during their golden hour.
Somebody's clearly been trying to get up in the window.
For the first time, this murder squad will wear body cameras.
I've got a little bit of blood on the floor.
We will see exactly what they see.
It's murder.
It is, John.
Yeah.
They have an hour to catch a killer.
Police emergency. Go ahead, caller. Please, I've just come back to my flat and the door was locked, so I crawled through the window and my flatmate's covered in blood in the bathroom.
Is she breathing?
I don't know. I can't look. I'm sorry.
Okay,
I can't
try and stay calm. What's she called?
She's called Alice. Alice! 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 Oh my God, she's dead. She's dead.
Hi, Phil. It's Lisa. Can you speak?
Yeah, go ahead.
We've got a job in at Gateshead. What's the crack?
The female found dead on the floor in the bathroom. He was called in by a housemate.
And what injuries has she got?
Appears to have had her throat slit.
Right.
My job is to catch the killer and to get the killer convicted. It's my responsibility. You know, if it goes wrong, it's down to me.
As lead investigator, key decisions made by Detective Chief Inspector Lisa Thieker at this initial stage can make or break the case and determine whether or not she catches Alice's killer.
Getting evidence in the golden hour is vital. It's fresh, it's not contaminated, and it might not be there very long.
So it's really important that we do things quick.
DCI Thieker's golden hour starts now.
In terms of the actual scene, is the premises secure?
By 24/7 supervision, in accordance set, out accordance set.
Okay.
From this point on, no one will enter the murder scene until Thieker arrives.
Where's my offender? That's a real priority for me. And there are a number of things that's going through my head, and I'm thinking around kind of the victim in this case, kind of Alice. She's a scene, she needs to be preserved, as does the flat that she was in.
The victim's dropped off at a home address around 5:15.
Today?
With a witness died, yeah.
Seize both of their clothing in the first instance and just get their initial account. What they're saying is we need to verify, see if we can fast time find out if his account of leaving work and dropping her off ties in.
Yeah.
DCI Thieker must quickly identify all witnesses and any suspects.
I was told there was some history between her and her ex. What's the score with that?
He's a soldier based up in Scotland, in the Edinburgh area.
Right.
And we're doing some research on him now.
Okay, how old's he?
I believe in his 20s.
Right, okay. What I would like to know is, in relation to the ex and the army, is he there, or is he AWOL, is he on his toes, is he not there?
Yep.
Reg details as well are run through ANPR initially if he has been down.
That's an action letter now.
I'm on my way to Gateshead now. Can you just make sure that you get all the staff that have been involved back at Gateshead, Nick, to give me an update so that I can brief everyone?
Oh, John's here. Evening, God. We've got a room full. All the key players here. You look a bit sweaty, Alan. Right, who wants to start? First of all, tell us what she's called.
Alice Ruggles, I think, is the name.
Right, go on. Fire away.
You want to know as much information as you can. And I need to understand my victim.
Could you tell me a little about Alice? What kind of a girl was she?
She was kind, she was funny, she always had a smile.
Say when?
She had this amazing mischievous sense of humour. She was the sort of person that, if she came into the room, she'd kind of make you happy.
Go, Alice!
She turned into such a lovely adult.
The worst thing is when I go home at the end of the day, she always used to be waiting for me. And sometimes it's really hard to get to my car because I can sort of see her standing next to it.
That's probably the hardest thing for me in an investigation. Because you think that could have been my sister. That could have been one of my friends. And I need to understand my suspect.
Alice had been having problems with her ex-boyfriend. Alice had been with Harry for about a year. They split up recently. He's in the army in barracks in Edinburgh.
Lance Corporal Harry Dillon recently returned from serving in Afghanistan. He dated Alice for almost a year before she ended the relationship.
At this stage, he is a suspect, needs to be located and arrested, so I need you to do that quick time. Billy, okay. You do everything very quick, don't you?
Yeah.
Yes. Is there much CCTV in the area?
From these parts, unfortunately.
Why is it every job I work on there's no CCTV? Do we phone details or like that?
No.
Can we get them from them?
Thika's search for Harry Dillon quickly throws up a result. His car has been spotted.
Dillon was last seen leaving camp at 12 o'clock this morning. 2:30 this afternoon, he's on the A1 in Scotland. There's an ANPR hit at a place in Scotland, and that hit in 2020. It's south of Edinburgh. It's on the A68, which would be the natural route from Newcastle leaving back to Edinburgh.
The police automatic number plate recognition system picked up Dillon's car early in the day, heading from his barracks in Scotland to Alice's flat in Gateshead.
He's left there at 12 o'clock. We need to know where he's been, clearly where he is now, where his car is, and we need to locate him. That's the priority. Stand by. Secondly, in terms of our two witnesses, I just want to be comfortable and confident that actually what they're saying is the truth.
Alice's flatmate, Maxine McGill, called 999 when she found her friend's body. Thika wants to question McGill, and the last person to see Alice alive, her Sky Television colleague, Paul Lynch. As her golden hour draws to an end, Thika goes to the crime scene. She has instructed her officers to interview McGill and Lynch.
There were two witnesses. I'm keen to find out actually what their accounts are. I think it's quite easy to go down a certain path and focus your attention, I guess, on a certain person. I just want to kind of get a clear picture in my mind that what I'm being told is actually the truth.
Alice's body is still in the flat.
At this moment in time, she's obviously in there with apparent slit throat. I guess priority for me is I've got an outstanding offender. I've got a suspect who hasn't been located yet, but so any fast-track opportunities to identify who the offender is.
Yeah, we'll make an assessment first before we decide how we're going to go about things.
Yeah. Happy?
Yep.
Right, let's go.
So we'll go.
Hi.
Hiya.
If we're going to walk through, if we keep to the side, in case there's any potential footwear marks. We'll step across onto the mat. So there's a bedroom there. Substantial lock on the back door.
It is, isn't it?
So, lock on the front door.
Yeah.
That locked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alice's flatmate, Maxine, couldn't get in through the front door, had gone round the back, climbed over a fence and then climbed through a window.
And she's saying she's coming through that window. I mean,
It's quite a feat
the
to
window,
climb through.
Yeah.
Up and through that window.
How would you get up there?
With difficulty. There's several very large footwear marks.
On the sofa?
There. And also there.
Look quite big, don't they?
Yeah.
Has she got confused, traumatised, or is there something more to it? What concerns me a little bit, what troubles me, is her account. Somebody's clearly been trying to get up in the window. I'm just not comfortable. I don't know what she looks like or what her stature is, but it would be quite difficult. On the couch there's some footwear marks and they look quite big. So can you seize her footwear, take a picture? I just want to bottom that side of it.
Earlier, Thika requested the authority to seize Alice's phone records.
Is there a phone there? Or is it just the case?
Just the case.
At the crime scene, she discovers that the phone itself is missing. If Thika can find the phone, it may lead to the killer.
And a bit of blood there, but...
Yeah, we've got a little bit of blood here on the floor. I've still got paramedics equipment in here as well. She's lying on her back in the bathroom with a very large hole in her neck. The bathroom's completely awash with blood.
It was most definitely a murder scene. She had suffered horrific injuries to her neck. There was no other explanation for those injuries and the amount of blood there.
You know, there's no way I don't think something like that could be self-inflicted. Right, it's murder.
It is, John.
Yeah.
Now that Thika has confirmed this is a murder, decisions made in her golden hour become critical. One of her first actions was to order a search for Alice's ex-boyfriend, Lance Corporal Harry Dillon.
All right, see you soon. Bye. We've got him. Yeah.
Detective Chief Inspector Lisa Thika's investigation into the brutal murder of Alice Ruggles is gathering momentum. Her golden hour is now over. Crucially, the decisions she made earlier will determine whether or not she'll catch Alice's killer. Thika has identified the victim's ex-boyfriend, Tremont Harry Dillon, as a suspect. And now a chilling discovery has come to light.
Open them and see what she said when she's rang the police before.
Just 11 days before her murder, Alice had made a call to police.
Evening, Northumbria Police.
Hi there. I just need a bit of advice, really, more than anything. So I split up with my boyfriend about 3 months ago. Since then, I know that he's hacked into my Facebook and also my phone. And then tonight, I had a knock at my door, and there was no one there. And then it happened again 2 or 3 times. And he's left some flowers and chocolates on the outside windowsill, and I'm concerned. My friends have been telling me to call the police. I've been putting it off, but I just feel a bit shaken up tonight.
What's he called?
Harry Dillon.
When she eventually rang the police, she asked them what they could do, and the first phone call she got a really nice, sympathetic policeman who guided her through it all and said they could issue a PIN, and then that would mean that he couldn't come anymore.
That was a temporary order.
Yes, an order that effectively tells him not to come. Yes. All she wanted was for him to leave her alone and to move on.
Thika now suspects that Dillon didn't move on. Just over 30 minutes into her golden hour, she'd instructed officers to find him.
They've arrived at the barracks to get him.
This is arresting Truman Dillon on suspicion of the murder of Alice Ruggles. Truman, have you got anything in your pockets at all? No, have a look.
See what jewellery he's got on as well. Rings or watch.
You just want to take off your Help for Heroes bracelet you've got on, please.
Is there anything we need to do urgently forensic-wise?
Other than the fingerprints, I think it's going to be swabs or nail scrapings.
Because of what you've been arrested for, you won't be allowed to wash your hands, and I'm going to need to ask you to put your hands in this bag, all right? And then this bag will get sealed around your hand, okay? Put your hands in here.
So I guess it's what swabs we get from him to potentially fast track.
Are you saying that Alice is dead, or is she, or someone's?
All I can tell you is that you've been arrested on suspicion of the murder of Alice Ruggles.
How long will it take from there to Forth Bank's 2.5 hours? Will you just make sure that when they are maybe an hour away that they just give us a ring, just so that we can be ready in custody?
Harry Dillon is now under arrest, yet Thika has to keep every line of inquiry open and is keen to corroborate all accounts from witnesses, including forensic evidence from Alice's flatmate, Maxine McGill.
The phones from the witnesses are getting downloaded with the intention of making sure there's no usage on Maxine's phone.
Have we got her shoes?
They're getting her footwear, they are imaging its top and pattern on the bottom. Full clothing's getting seized, hand swabs is being thrown.
Yeah, so where's her car?
Don't know.
We need to find out where her car is, just in case.
At 24 minutes past 3 on the morning of October 13, Dillon arrives at the police station in Gateshead. 7 hours earlier, Thika had ordered his arrest.
Just get booked in.
Hello. So your surname is spelled Delta Hotel, India, Lima Lima, Oscar November. You're left or right-handed?
Right.
Arrested for?
Suspicion of murder.
Location of arrest?
That is the guard room at Glencourse Barracks, Pennacook.
I want to assess Harry. It's best to do that face-to-face, but also I'm looking to see what physical evidence is on Harry.
Can you just have a look at your wrists, please? Right, okay, and then just looking at you've got a bit of
2 scratches here.
Right.
He had a couple of scratches on the left side of his cheek. He had a scratch down the right side of his neck. All indicative of a recent struggle.
I'm going to ask you to consent to us obtaining what we call a non-intimate sample, okay? That is nail scrapings and clippings.
Harry himself is potentially a crime scene, so there was a number of things that I wanted taken from him forensically. Blood, swabs from the injuries to his face. We've seized the clothing that he had on, and obviously his jewellery as well, to see if we could get any of Alice's blood on any of that.
As a help for Hero's wristband.
Right. Quite often, suspects will wash their hands looking that there won't be any blood or other traces on the jewellery. So that is one of the first areas that I would think about.
Arrested at 23:59. He was perfectly calm and compliant when we got there. He's looked at me in a rather sort of surprised expression on his face when I've actually arrested him on suspicion of murder of Alice Ruggles.
We've seized clothing, blood, fingernail scrapings, DNA, swabs from the injuries that he's got as well.
In her golden hour, Thika ordered the seizure of Harry's car.
Harry's car was uplifted, was brought back to our force area for forensic examination. We discovered a small spot of blood on the steering wheel. A spot of blood in the car could be absolutely crucial for us.
Thika has a suspect, but no concrete evidence against him.
Right, morning everyone.
DCI Lisa Thika has been up all night. With Dylan in police custody, her attention has turned to Alice's flatmate, Maxine.
My understanding is she's left work at 6:20, when it takes about 10 minutes to get to their home address. She's gone around the back and she's climbed through the living room window, and then she's gone in the bathroom where she's found Alice on the floor.
Thika needs to corroborate Maxine's story, as some things at the murder scene simply didn't add up.
On the couch there's some footwear marks and they look quite big, so can you seize her footwear?
The results have now come back from the forensics lab. It's a match for Maxine's footprint, which supports her account of the night of Alice's murder.
She's rang the police. I mean, we've listened to the call here and it is harrowing. She's then rang her work colleague, Paul Lynch. Now, he's the supervisor at Sky, so all three of them work there together.
On the evening of the murder, Alice's colleague, Paul Lynch, left work with her at 5:15. He gave her a lift home and says that he dropped her off at her flat at around 5:30. During the golden hour, Thika requested a search for CCTV footage, and finally, that order yields a result.
It's pretty much one-off footage. I certainly haven't seen anything like it. It's from a video camera installed to a car, parked up just a couple of doors away from where Alice lives. It really is a find. It's the first time, certainly in over 10 years, I've ever had a dash cam. What you actually see is Paul Lynch driving this white vehicle here. He works with Alice and he parks up and he talks to Alice for about a minute or so. Alice's head goes forward, the doors open, and she said her goodbyes to Paul Lynch, and that time's at 17:31. This is the last image that we have of Alice alive. She's entering a house there, and within approximately 1 hour, less than that, Alice will be dead.
Serving Army officer Harry Dillon is now the sole suspect in the investigation of Alice Ruggles' murder. Detective Chief Inspector Lisa Thieker can only hold him until 3 a.m. unless she has enough evidence to charge.
Immense pressure. What time's it now, 9? I would be feeling a little bit better if I had my forensic results back this morning or at the latest early afternoon.
While she waits for results from the forensics lab, Thieker's team prepares to interview Dillon.
The aim initially is to get him as relaxed as we can, get him to talk. And it's just getting him to give us as much detail. We need to look for those provable lies.
Beth and Norman are a good team. They're experienced interviewers. I picked Norman because he looks quite mean, actually. He's not, he's actually a lovely fella, but he's very good, he's thoughtful, attention to details, spot on. Beth, she looks kind of like she's very glamorous, she's lovely, but she's fierce.
Detective Sergeant Joanne Brooks is Thieker's interview supervisor. Her job, to monitor the questions and Dillon's answers.
Okay, this interview is being digitally recorded. We're in interview room number 10 at Forthbanks Police Station in Newcastle. So, Harry, yesterday, Alice Ruggles was found at her home address in Gateshead and she'd been murdered. Okay, did you murder Alice?
No, I did not murder Alice.
Do you have any knowledge of this?
No, I don't have any knowledge of this.
Were you present when this murder occurred?
No, I wasn't.
Can you tell me what you were doing yesterday then, from 10 a.m. until the time you were arrested last night, please?
So, I drove down towards Newcastle, and because I just wanted answers. So I drove down to speak to her. She was sitting in the living room, the sofa, and she was doing something on the phone. So I knocked at the window, and her first reply was like, whoa, 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 like she was like, what the hell are you doing here, like that kind of reply.
So it's a bare window that she's looking through, and she sees you.
Yeah.
Yeah. And there's no arrangement whatsoever for you to be there.
No.
How do you end up in the house?
I never entered inside her house.
Right.
I was always outside. She's the one who came outside. So she came from the back, like the back area, and I tried to hug her. She said, I don't want to speak to you or see you because I've heard stories about how guys like you end up killing their girlfriends. And I've got a feeling you'll probably do the same, and I don't want to die, I want to live. And I said, I'm begging you, once, please, when people break up, they at least give each other a hug or say goodbye. And I try and hold her arms like this.
Explain that bit, that's important, isn't it?
Right, can I use you, please?
Yeah.
So if I'm walking, so she just had her arms like this with her phone in one of her hands.
Yeah.
So I was like, Alice, please, and as soon as I did that, just holding her arms, with her right hand, she just pulled it off and just went like, fuck off, you creep.
And our phone. What happened to that phone? Whilst this is going on? Do you remember?
Do you remember what happened? Like, what do you mean?
Her phone?
Yeah, what happened with her phone? I remember her having her phone when she opened the door. When she showed me, she's like, with her thumb on the call button.
Yeah.
She's like, I'm gonna call 999.
Do you know which hand she had it in or not?
I think her phone was on the right hand, and then she put it on the bench, or she put it in the left hand, but I'm not sure. As far as I remember, I think it was in her right hand, because when I tried to hug her, she grabbed my hair with her right hand
again,
and then she I think scratched or whatever she did, and I didn't even realize that I had these till later on.
You don't know what's going to become important. It could be just something as simple as which hand was something in, and it's about getting all of that detail, because that's where, if you're the suspect, that's where you'll make your mistakes.
He's given a lot of detail. I think the only one last thing out of him was the grabbing of the hands with the phone in his hand.
Yeah.
And I
He
thought,
went left to right, didn't he?
it's because as soon as he went like that, I thought, that would have been clever with the phone in your hand.
I think he's took the phone, do you? Yeah.
So I think he's nabbed it.
He's denying killing Alice. He's putting himself at the scene, but he's not saying that he's gone into the flat. Harry Dillon is a suspect, but actually, I don't have a great deal of evidence at this point.
Have you found anything?
Quite a bit on the top there, but whether or not that's blood or makeup, it's a bit hard to say, isn't it?
Thika calls a meeting of her forensics team. With only 7 hours to go until the custody clock runs out, she needs physical and forensic evidence if she's to keep Harry Dillon in custody.
Are we ready to go?
Yeah.
I want to keep this short and succinct so we can get away. Michelle, scene-wise, you've obviously been down there for several hours.
She was laid on her back with her arm outstretched. Her top was saturated with blood, and that, in my opinion, is from her being laid in the pool of blood from her neck. I would expect him to have some blood on him as a result of his interaction with her. There was no evidence of him washing in the bathroom sink. There was no blood on the taps, no blood splashes into the sink. I just don't know how he's got out of there.
We don't know how long he's been in. I don't think he's been in there for a great deal of time.
Any blood.
Right, let's go.
It frustrates me because I haven't located a weapon. I don't know where Alice's phone is, and time's kind of ticking away.
But now, a decision Thika made in her golden hour may be about to bear fruit.
The arresting officers handed over 2 bracelets that they'd seized from Harry Dillon. One was a Help for Heroes bracelet. I planned straight away to get them sent to the lab to see whether we would have any of Alice's blood on them.
The lab reports that there is blood on the wristband. Yet it may take hours before DNA analysis can identify whose blood it is. Harry Dillon has now been in custody for 24 hours, so he needs to be charged or released. However, worried that she could be releasing a murderer back into the community, Thika has secured a 12-hour extension to gather more evidence to present her case.
I've got to be able to pull together enough circumstantial evidence to show that he is the killer.
The interviews, Joanne, give us a run through exactly what he said and where we are with him. He's adamant he hasn't got in the house at all. And then as he's leaving, he's adamant she had a phone in her right hand then, so he's negating the fact that he's took the phone away. He then says he gets in the car and he goes the same route out of Gateshead onto the A1 slightly, and then he comes off and goes past the airport.
During her initial golden hour, Thika obtained authority to seize Alice's phone records and asked Detective Constable Steve Speck to analyze CCTV footage from the moment Paul Lynch dropped Alice home. 2 key decisions.
Right, see if I'm going to come to you around the CCTV.
And now you see Alice arrive.
So this is Paul dropping her off?
Yeah. That's all I said.
As Alice walks into her flat, Speck has established that Harry Dillon's white BMW is parked just up the street, hidden from view and facing away from the flat.
17, 15, 13, he parks up. Camera's in position up here.
Will he have seen Alice getting dropped off?
I think he could have done in the rear view mirror or using the wing mirrors. 17, 45, 46, that's when you've seen him moved off, turn around.
Alice has been at home for 14 minutes when Harry starts driving towards her flat.
He's gone in after, hasn't he?
Between 5:45 and 6 p.m., as Dillon's car pulls up, Alice's phone records show she was messaging friends. This is the last photograph of Alice alive.
She's last used her phone on WhatsApp at 1 minute past 6, yeah?
I know she's alive then, I know she's alive when she sent that message.
"24 minutes after Alice's last message, CCTV shows Harry's car leaving the area.
Police emergency. Go ahead, caller.
9 minutes after that, at 6:34 p.m., Alice's flatmate calls 999.
Alice! 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 Oh my God, she's dead!
It's not only CCTV that tracks Harry's movements.
Her phone connected to a mast off East Denton at 17:27. 18:36, it connects to a mast in Winlayton.
Yeah.
At 18:36:50, it connects to a mast in Kenson.
In his interview, he's saying that he's heading back that route, yeah? Her phone then hits a mast towards the airport at 18:39. She's dead then. We know she's dead then. He's got her phone, hasn't he? He's got her phone in the car.
Killer blow is the phone, which actually is excellent for us
It
because
is.
it should be sitting back in Gateshead.
Of course it should, of course it should.
That phone is just his lie.
Detective Chief Inspector Lisa Thieker instructs her team to interview Harry Dillon one more time.
This is the big interview. This is to give him the opportunity to tell us what's happened, but also to let him know the evidence that we've got.
We're going to change his world a little bit now. I think he's going to become uncomfortable and have to account for things he hasn't quite covered. We're going to put to him about the phone, we're going to put to him about the AMPR. So he's going to be asked to account for all of that. We have these provable lies which we're now going to challenge him on.
Can you remember that you saw Alice's phone in her hand when you left?
Yep.
Yeah. You don't want to change your mind, do you?
No.
Before we show you this?
Well, it was because
I'm going to show you something that will suggest otherwise.
it was so. Can I speak to my solicitor first, and then I'll speak to you?
Yeah.
If that's okay.
We'll pause the interview. It is 1:34 p.m.
Thieker and her team now have proof that Dillon has lied about the phone, discrediting his account of the night of Alice's murder.
Right. Good luck.
Yeah. Everything's recorded.
Okay, this is a continuation of an interview with Trevor Dillon, also known as Harry. We have Alice's phone pinging on a mast near to the airport, all right? The route you've told us that you have driven after you've left the house, yeah? What I'm saying to you is you have taken Alice's phone. What have you got to say about that?
No comment.
So what have you done with it?
No comment.
The minute the questions get hard and we can prove you've been lying, you start saying no comment. Why?
No comment.
Unfortunately, we've seen photographs of Alice.
We know exactly what you did. We've been told exactly what happened to her. And how you cut her throat.
No comment.
You told me you loved her. You said you loved her. You didn't love her. You didn't love her. You thought if you can't have her, no one else can have her. That's exactly what you thought.
No comment.
Why are you no commenting now? Because you're guilty.
No comments.
Right, we'll wind it up now. 1 minute past 2.
You know, he's done this, he knows that he's done it. He hasn't got the balls now to admit what he's done. In my mind, we've got enough to charge him with murder. Darling, if you could just stand here and look.
You're charged with that on Wednesday the 12th of October 2016 at Gateshead, murdered Alice Ruggles, contrary to common law. Do you have any reply to that charge? No reply? Okay, let's go. That poor girl. And she's clearly been frightened of him for a long time. Probably never thought he'd go this far, and he's clearly just, well, he's took a life in quite a violent and horrific way. I hope he goes to jail for a long time.
Right, I take it we are all aware of the good news and that he got charged with, I think we had 7 minutes left on the clock.
With Harry Dillon now charged, DCI Thika's golden hour decisions will prove crucial in building a strong case against him in court.
One of the main reasons that I go to the scene straight away is to make an assessment, see if there's any fast-track forensic opportunities to put our suspect in the scene.
The results of the forensic tests Thika ordered in her golden hour are now back. A positive test for Alice's blood will prove Dillon's guilt beyond all reasonable doubt.
I was hopeful that we were going to get the result from the Help for Heroes band. I was told we would have it for 6 o'clock. We've got that result. That's positive. So we have got her DNA on that, which is fantastic.
With the wristband a positive match, Thika's focus turns to Dillon's car.
Car as well is really important, you know, it's potential evidence in the car, blood, so it's really important that we do things quick to capture that evidence.
This is the final piece of the puzzle. DNA from blood in Harry Dillon's car is also Alice's. It appears that Thika's golden hour decisions have paid off.
I can piece together what actually has happened. Without doubt, he has stalked Alice. She probably did love him once.
So I think this is the one she was trying on.
But something's happened where she hasn't wanted to continue in that relationship. And he hasn't been able to accept that. In my mind, she's been in the bathroom. He's approached her from behind and he's slit her throat. And he's known what he's been doing. But you can't believe what he says. He's denying murdering Alice. And he killed her.
We hadn't sort of realised how much Alice was sort of the centre of the family and how we relied on her to sort of join us all together. But we're just having to find a new way through, aren't we? It's just very difficult.
We know there's only one person to blame for this, but you can't help thinking to yourself, could we have done more?
In April 2017, Lance Corporal Harry Dillon went on trial for the murder of Alice Ruggles. He was found guilty and sentenced to life imprisonment.
I don't think I ever stopped thinking about Alice, really. Part of the time, you're carrying on doing normal things, and then something just reminds you it's a normal life, and Alice-sized hole in it.
There's no worse crime than taking somebody's life. I can't think about the family and the effect that it has on the family when I'm doing my job in those initial stages, but it becomes very real when I meet them and you see their pain, you see their anger and you feel those emotions. That's the hardest part for me.